Did you know? Canadians say sorry so much that a law was passed in 2009 declaring that an apology can't be used as evidence of admission to guilt. In 2009, the province of Ontario, Canada, passed the Apology Act. This quirky piece of legislation states that saying sorry can't be used as evidence of guilt in civil court. Why, you ask? Canadians are famously polite, and sorry is practically a reflex. It's a cultural thing. Before the Apology Act, a simple sorry could land you in legal hot water. Imagine apologizing for stepping on someone's toe, and suddenly you're liable for a broken foot. Not quite fair, right? This law encourages more honest and open communication. It lets people apologize without the fear of a courtroom showdown, promoting a more compassionate approach to resolving conflicts. So, next time you hear a Canadian say sorry, just know it's probably just them being, well, adorably Canadian, and legally protected. Did you know? Christmas was once banned in Britain. In the 17th century, the Puritans, a stern bunch of English Protestants, decided that Christmas was too frivolous and too pagan. In 1644, Parliament took action and passed a law banning Christmas celebrations. Shops stayed open, churches were silent, and festive activities were a big no-no. Sounds like a scene from a holiday horror flick, doesn't it? But not everyone was on board with this Yuletide buzzkill. People resisted, celebrating Christmas privately and even holding protests. Imagine the carolers with picket signs. The Grinch-like ban didn't last forever. In 1660, the monarchy was restored, and with it, Christmas cheer returned. Traditions we cherish today began to flourish once more. So next time you're decking the halls, remember? There was a time when celebrating Christmas was a rebellious act. Did you know? The first computers were actually humans who performed complex calculations by hand. Before the digital age, the term computer referred to actual people. Yes, real humans who performed complex calculations by hand. And surprise, surprise, most of these human computers were women. Armed with adding machines and slide rules, they tackled the math behind everything from artillery trajectories in World War II to the calculations that launched rockets into space. Imagine solving equations faster than a speeding bullet, all without a single silicon chip. As electronic computers emerged, these human computers gradually handed over the reins. But their contributions? Absolutely essential and still celebrated in the history of computing. So next time you boot up your laptop or swipe on your smartphone, take a moment to think of the brilliant minds who crunched numbers by hand and laid the groundwork for the digital world we live in today. Did you know? A duck is called a duck because it ducks its head under the water to feed. Yep, you heard it right. The term duck comes from the Old English word duce, which means diver. You see, ducks have this nifty little habit of dipping their heads underwater to find food, so the name actually reflects their diving behavior. The verb to duck, meaning to lower one's head or body quickly, is closely related. So, next time you see a duck diving for a snack, you'll know it's living up to its name. Did you know? Some animals can predict earthquakes. There have been countless reports of animals acting strangely just before an earthquake hits. Snakes slither out of their burrows, dogs bark their heads off, and birds go a bit bonkers. So, what's going on here? Some scientists believe snakes might be able to detect subtle ground vibrations that are invisible to us. It's like having a built-in seismograph. Others think animals might sense changes in the Earth's electromagnetic fields. Picture a natural Wi-Fi signal that animals are tuned into. There are also theories about animals reacting to other environmental shifts, like the release of gases or changes in groundwater levels. Though these ideas are fascinating, the science is still shaking things out. So, next time your pet's acting weird, don't panic, just maybe keep an eye on the news. Did you know? Giraffes with darker spots tend to be more dominant and solitary than others in the herd. According to recent research in the journal Animal Behavior, giraffes with darker spots tend to be the dominant ones in their social circles. Think of it as their version of a lion's mane, sending out a strong message of power and prime physical condition. These dark-spotted dudes are often loners, roaming solo and moving between groups of females, always on the hunt for mating opportunities. It's as if they've got a VIP pass to the Savannah nightclub. But don't go running to paint spots on your giraffe plushie just yet. Scientists say there's still a lot to learn about how spot color relates to dominance and social behavior. This finding just adds another fascinating piece to the puzzle of giraffe life. So next time you see a giraffe with those dark, striking spots, remember, you're looking at one of nature's true VIPs. Did you know? Humans haven't all been on Earth since the 2nd of November 2000. The day the International Space Station welcomed its first long-term residents, Commander William Shepard, and cosmonauts Sergei Krikalev and Yuri Gidzenko. Since then, the ISS has been our outpost in space, orbiting 250 miles above Earth with humans on board every single day for 24 years. This continuous human presence has transformed the ISS into a floating laboratory, sparking groundbreaking scientific research, technological advancements, and even international friendships. From studying the effects of microgravity on the human body, to testing new materials for spacecraft, the ISS is a testament to what we can achieve when we reach for the stars together. Did you know? Superb lyrebirds are known for imitating sounds of other animals and even human speech. The superb lyrebird is nature's premier impressionist. These feathered virtuosos can mimic an astonishing array of sounds. First up, bird calls. These guys can perfectly replicate the songs of other birds, blending them into their own symphonies. But they don't stop there. They've got the whole animal kingdom covered too, from frogs to insects, and even mammals. And if you live near one, don't be surprised if you hear your car alarm or camera shutter in their playlist. They've picked up quite a few human-made sounds. Why all this mimicry? It's all part of the male lyrebird's courtship display. They show off their vocal talents to woo the ladies, mixing a medley of melodies and noises. And the best part, lyrebirds keep learning and adding new sounds throughout their lives. Now that's one impressive bird, did you know? If you die in the Netherlands with no next of kin, friend or acquaintance for the funeral will receive a poem read by the poet so nobody dies alone. Let's dive into this heartwarming tradition. It's called the Lonely Funeral Project. When someone passes away without next of kin or friends to mourn them, the Dutch have a beautiful solution. A poet is invited to their funeral. This isn't just any poet, they delve into the deceased's life, digging through records, talking to locals, and piecing together a story. And from this, they craft a personalized poem. The result? A heartfelt tribute read aloud at the funeral, ensuring that every life is honored with dignity. Even in death, no one is forgotten. This touching tradition underscores the power of community and empathy. Did you know? The US once considered nuking the moon. During the Cold War, tensions were high and ideas were wild. Enter Project A-119, a seriously bonkers plan by the United States Air Force to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon. Why? First off, for science. The explosion would create a visible flash, giving scientists valuable data on the moon's composition and maybe even sparking a tiny moonquake. But wait, there's more. It was also about flexing those American muscles and showing the Soviets who's boss in the space race. Crazy, right? But sanity prevailed and the project was scrapped. Concerns about radiation and a probable international uproar put the kibosh on the whole thing. Project A-119 never took off, but it sure highlights the extreme ambitions and tensions of that era. So next time you look at the moon, be glad it's still in one piece. Did you know? Octopuses are highly flexible creatures and can squeeze through incredibly small openings. Thanks to a unique structure called a mantle. Imagine being able to twist, turn, and contort into any shape you need to be. Their secret? Highly developed muscles. These muscles let them squeeze through the narrowest of crevices, fit into small jars, and even escape from secure enclosures. Why do they need this superpower? It's all about survival. Flexibility helps them navigate complex underwater landscapes, hunt for prey in tight spots, and most importantly, escape predators. Ever heard of octopuses escaping from aquariums? It's true. They're known for squeezing through tiny holes and making a break for it, and when it comes to hiding, they can slip into the smallest of crevices, evading predators with ease. The octopus's incredible flexibility is a testament to the amazing adaptations in the animal kingdom. Did you know? The Olympic rings are those specific colors because it appears on national flag around the world. Baron Pierre de Coubertin, the mastermind behind the modern Olympic Games, didn't just pick those colors out of a hat. Each one, blue, yellow, black, green, and red, appears on at least one national flag around the world. Imagine that, a simple design that includes everyone. Now let's clear up a common myth. These colors don't represent specific continents. Instead, they symbolize something much grander. The universality and global reach of the Olympics. The white background of the Olympic flag, it's there to make sure every flag is represented, as white is also a common color in flags worldwide. So next time you see those iconic rings, remember, they're a colorful celebration of global unity and sporting excellence. Did you know? Ancient Egyptians revered onions and used them in religious rituals? Picture this, an onion not just in your salad but in the afterlife. Those concentric rings, pure symbolism. Ancient Egyptians saw the onion as a representation of eternity, each layer like the sun's cycle, life, death, and rebirth. They didn't just stop there. Onions were VIPs in religious rituals. They were offered to gods and even placed in tombs to nourish souls journeying to the afterlife. Talk about a multi-talented veggie. Even Egyptian art got in on the act. Onions are there, depicted alongside other sacred offerings. They were more than just food, they were symbols of sustenance and divine connection. So next time you slice an onion, remember you're not just cooking, you're engaging in a tradition as old as the pyramids themselves. Onions, the true MVPs of ancient Egypt. Did you know? Ostriches were nearly driven to extinction in the past. Back in the day, everyone wanted a piece of these towering birds. Ostrich feathers were the ultimate accessory in Victorian fashion, especially for those fancy hats. This feather frenzy led to the extensive hunting of ostriches. But it wasn't just about the feathers. Ostrich meat and eggs were also popular, and in some cultures, they were used in traditional medicine. Sadly, this relentless hunting had dire consequences. The Arabian ostrich subspecies went extinct by the mid-20th century, and other subspecies saw their numbers plummet. But there's a glimmer of hope. Ostrich farming provided a sustainable alternative, reducing the pressure on wild populations. And thanks to protected areas and wildlife reserves, these magnificent birds have a fighting chance. So next time you see an ostrich, remember how close we came to losing them forever? Did you know? Pineapples are actually a cluster of berries fused together. Classified as a multiple fruit, each of those little scales or eyes on the pineapple's surface started out as an individual flower. Yep, each one of those tiny flowers matured into a berry. But here's the twist, these berries then fused together, creating the pineapple we know and love. So next time you slice into a pineapple, remember, you're actually enjoying a whole bunch of berries working together in perfect harmony. Amazing, right? Did you know? French toilet paper is often colored pink. Back in the 1960s and 70s, France embraced recycling even for toilet paper. The result, a rather dull, grayish paper. Not exactly appealing, right? So, to jazz things up, manufacturers started dyeing it. And voila, pink toilet paper was born. Why pink, you ask? Well, it was simply a color that appealed and stuck around. Over time it became a cultural norm in France. While you can still find white toilet paper, pink remains a popular choice in French homes. Now some folks worry about the synthetic dyes used in colored toilet paper. But rest assured, there's no strong scientific evidence suggesting any health risks. So next time you're in France, don't be surprised by the pink loo roll. It's just another quirky twist in the colorful tapestry of French culture. Did you know? The inventor of the Rubik's Cube took over a month to solve it himself. Erno Rubik, the brilliant mind who created the iconic Rubik's Cube, was stumped by his own invention. When he first scrambled the cube, it took him over a month of trial and error to return it to its original state. Now think about that for a moment. If the inventor himself needed all that time to crack it, what hope do the rest of us have? But this struggle was more than just a challenge. It was a testament to the cube's complexity and brilliance. It's no wonder that the Rubik's Cube has been baffling and entertaining minds for decades. So next time you're twisting and turning those little colored squares, remember, even Erno Rubik had his moments of head-scratching. Keep at it and who knows, you might just beat his record. Did you know? Saturn's rings are predicted to disappear sometime in the future. In March 2025, Saturn's rings will seem to disappear from Earth. Why? Because they're edge-on from our view, making them nearly invisible. But don't worry, it's just an optical illusion. By November 2025, they'll slowly reappear through telescopes. So, we're not losing them just yet. However, long-term, Saturn's rings are being eroded by ring rain. Ice particles are pulled by Saturn's gravity and rain down onto the planet. Scientists estimate the rings might only have 100 to 300 million years left. So, while we can still enjoy Saturn's magnificent rings today, remember, they're temporary on a cosmic scale. Cherish the view while it lasts. Did you know? Coca-Cola, or Coke, is the second most recognized English word in the world after OK. Coca-Cola's global presence is nothing short of legendary. With marketing campaigns that could probably sell ice to a polar bear and distribution networks that reach every corner of the globe, it's no wonder Coke is a close second to OK. And let's not forget its cultural impact. From classic movies to chart-topping music, Coke is everywhere. It's like that one friend who shows up at every event, sometimes uninvited but always welcome. So next time you crack open a cold one, remember you're sipping on a global icon. Did you know? Sharks can be afraid of dolphins. Dolphins are not just the ocean's jesters, they're formidable predators. These intelligent and social creatures hunt cooperatively, using their powerful beaks and ramming attacks to inflict serious injuries on sharks. And when it comes to defending their young, dolphins are like a well-trained battalion. An entire pod will work together to drive away any shark that dares to threaten a calf. Yes, even the mighty shark knows better than to mess with dolphin mums on a mission. Sharks are no fools either. Through past experiences or by watching fellow sharks, they learn to associate dolphins with danger. While sharks are often seen as the apex predators of the ocean, dolphins, especially orcas, yes, killer whales can give them a serious run for their money. So next time you think of the ocean's toughest, remember, it's not just about size or teeth, it's about brains, brawn, and a bit of teamwork. Did you know? The main reason soccer balls were first black and white was so that it could appear on black and white television more clearly. The iconic black and white soccer ball design known as the Telstar was introduced by Adidas for the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. Back then, most people watched the matches on black and white televisions. The high-contrast design with black pentagons and white hexagons made it easier to see the ball's movement on screen. No more squinting to spot the ball. This clever idea improved visibility and became an instant classic. The Telstar wasn't just practical, it became a symbol of soccer itself, influencing countless ball designs since. So next time you see a black and white soccer ball, remember it's not just about style, it's a throwback to a time when televisions were simpler, but the love for the game was just as strong. Did you know? The cracking sound of a bullwhip is a small sonic boom. The secret lies at the very end of the whip, in a little part called the cracker. It's a short, heavy piece of leather. When you flick the whip, a wave travels down its length. As it moves, it speeds up. By the time that wave reaches the cracker, it's going faster than the speed of sound. That's when things get interesting. This supersonic speed creates a shock wave, and that's what makes the cracking sound. So every time you hear a whip crack, remember you're listening to a miniature sonic boom. Pretty cool, right? Did you know? Spicy is not a taste. Taste buds only pick up 5 basic flavors: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. But spiciness? It's not one of them. Spiciness is actually a sensation of pain, not a taste. It's all thanks to capsaicin, the compound in chili peppers. Capsaicin tricks your pain receptors, the same ones that react to heat. Your brain thinks your mouth is on fire. That's why you feel the burn. So next time you're braving a hot curry or spicy wing, remember, your taste buds aren't tasting heat, they're feeling pain. Did you know? The DNA sequence of Stephen Hawking is stored on a hard disk. In 2008, a project called Operation Immortality sent the digitized DNA sequences of several notable individuals to the International Space Station. Among these esteemed figures was none other than the brilliant physicist Stephen Hawking. Stored on a hard disk known as the Immortality Drive, these DNA sequences serve as a symbolic gesture to preserve human heritage in case of a catastrophic event on Earth. Think of it as a cosmic backup of some of humanity's finest minds. But don't get too excited, it's not a literal form of immortality. The DNA sequences are digital data, not living cells. Alongside Hawking, the drive also includes the DNA of Stephen Colbert, astronaut Richard Garriott, and a few other luminaries. So next time you gaze up at the night sky, remember, a piece of Stephen Hawking is orbiting above. Did you know? Stop signs used to be yellow. Yep, you heard that right. Back in the day, yellow was considered the most visible color for these roadside sentinels. But in 1954, the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, or MUTCD for short, decided it was time for a facelift. They switched to red and octagonal. Why, you ask? Because red screams stop louder than a toddler denied ice cream. Red not only catches your eye better, but also stands out in different light conditions. It's all about making our roads safer and our driving a tad less confusing. So next time you see a red stop sign, remember it's not just a color choice. It's a carefully thought-out decision to keep you in the know and on your toes. Did you know? Surgeons who play video games at least 3 hours a week perform 27% faster and make 37% fewer errors. It's not just about saving princesses or battling aliens. Gaming improves hand-eye coordination, spatial reasoning, decision-making, and reaction time. All vital skills for surgeons. And it's particularly useful in laparoscopic surgery. That's the minimally invasive kind. But hold on. This doesn't mean playing Call of Duty will turn you into the next top surgeon. The type of games matters, and remember, this is just a correlation, not a guaranteed cause and effect. So next time someone tells you gaming is a waste of time, just tell them you're practicing your surgical skills. Who knew saving the world could help save lives? Did you know? White chocolate shouldn't technically be called chocolate at all. White chocolate doesn't contain cocoa solids. That's the key ingredient in dark and milk chocolate. Cocoa solids give chocolate its signature brown color, and that irresistible, slightly bitter flavor. So what's in white chocolate? It's primarily made of 3 ingredients: cocoa butter, sugar, and milk solids. Cocoa butter is the fat extracted from the cocoa bean, bringing that smooth, melt-in-your-mouth sensation. Sugar adds the sweetness we crave. And milk solids? They give white chocolate its creamy texture and rich flavor. But here's the kicker. Since white chocolate lacks cocoa solids, some folks argue it shouldn't be called chocolate at all. Yet it's widely accepted as a scrumptious type of confectionery. So, chocolate or not, white chocolate has certainly earned its place in our hearts and on our taste buds. Did you know? The spiked dog collar was invented by the ancient Greeks to protect their dogs from wolf attacks. Imagine this. Your dog is out guarding livestock on a dark night, and a wolf approaches. The spikes make it much harder for the wolf to latch onto the dog's neck, giving your loyal companion a fighting chance. Archaeological findings and ancient writings back this up. It's not just a tall tale. Fast forward to today, and while spiked collars are more of a fashion statement or controversial training tool, their origin is rooted in ancient Greek ingenuity. So next time you see a spiked collar, remember, it's not just for show. It's a piece of history. Like and subscribe for more fun facts.